We are at Poverty Point. 1400 BC, Poverty Point was the largest historical mound complex in North America. It suggests the main occupations of the site occurred between 1730 and 1350 BC, almost the inverse of Cahokia. Further comments that though it's a monumental size and construction, the site suggests a sedentary population, but a highly organized society. They first began building mounds in 4000 BC through 1400 AD. It says native lore holds that this symmetrical sea figure were magical shields against a world filled with harmful spirits. So it's possible that Poverty Point sea shape, which faces the east, was welcoming good spirits from that direction while protecting people from death and sickness in the west, and social harmony, disharmony, and witchcraft out of the north. Notice they'd say native lore, which natives. Evidence further suggests that the mounds were built according to a master plan and a massive building program, depicting everyday life at Poverty Point. The tools that facilitated that, I'm not sure what these devices here are. Again, this is another form, another representation of the layout of mounds. Here we're looking at the map that we're given for our little walking tour. We're over in the right-hand corner at number 1. And what you see there is Bayou Mason, M-A-C-O-N. Formerly, the Arkansas River ran right through here, but I think the bayou is actually when a river in one path makes a loop and then it cuts itself off, such as we have in Teton National Park or Yellowstone National Park. It's possible that 2,000 years ago, a large lake covered the land on the opposite side of that bayou that we were just looking at through those trees. Archaeologists have found posts that may indicate a dock or a pier or some kind of structure like that. Often the case with the lowlands next to water. It was a site women used for cooking and other kinds of similar activities, as evidenced by the cooking stones that they found, as well as pots, shards, and that sort of thing. We're going up here to Mound D. So this mound is determined to be a Coles Creek period of around 1150 AD. The base of the mound is considered to be the terminating end of Ridge 1 or Ridge 2. You can see these concentric ridges here. And those ridges go off in that direction there. Mounds were also used as cemeteries. Ergo, these two plots. The field that we're looking across, and I assume they mean this one, has changed over the year. We're on a ridge. It starts downward about where those people are, which was formed more than 40,000 years ago in floodwaters. Melting Midwestern glaciers deposited sand and silt here. About 12,000 to 14,000 years ago, soils blown by the wind covered this ridge, adding 15 feet to the surface deposits. And they last farmed it in 1970. These trees is the site of their farmhouse. You know, we're walking from 2 to 3 right now, which is straight ahead, is that line. So off to our left would be those concentric C circles, and then further off to our left, no doubt behind those trees, we'll find Mound A. We're at number 4 right now. This is what we're seeing. There's my van in the visitor center. Where those people are is number 3 that we were just at. This is 3 and 4. We're now at 4. Now apparently we're supposed to perceive that where I'm standing is a prominent ridge, and it's ridge number 1. And it's prominent apparently because the area was not plowed for many years, because it was a slave cemetery with grave markers, probably of wood, which are now decayed. Off in that direction that these semicircular ridges go that way in a semicircle, and it's about 3/4 of a mile across from where we're at right now. It would also be the outer diameter of the plaza area, which is in the center between here and the visitor center. These white posts represent a feature that was discovered by using a magnetic gradiometer. Several circles were found in the plaza area from 60 feet to 180 feet in diameter. These circles are where the wooden poles were for either an enclosure or a building. Some of these poles were sunk several feet deep. That would be a pretty impressive building. There's the pole up there that we're going to for number 5. But that means that all the rest of those ridges radiate out towards those trees. This will give you some idea of how huge this area was. So the farthest ridges probably began way over there by those trees on the left side of the road and continued in a large arc, just like the camera's showing you, all the way around, probably down to where those trees are, 3/4 of a mile away. This ridge that we're on, and we're on still number 1, would have arced around that way and then terminated at the bayou. This area is known because excavations have shown two important things. One, these semicircular ridges were actually platforms for the many homes. So think of it as a large urban planning project or a subdivision. In fact, you can look at subdivision plans from above and see pretty much the same design. Also, there was a tremendous number of manufacturing type of tools here, stone tools. So it has that manufacturing cachet to this particular ridge. Now we're going to number 6, which means we're going deeper across the other ridges now. The site we're approaching right now is simply a benchmark site, a modern benchmark site, in which, and there are 5 of them on this whole site, which give archaeologists benchmark elevations. This one is 99 point something feet above sea level. Apparently from point number 7 we're at the beginning of a long causeway. Then that would be between 6 and 8. You see 2 dots, and I think that's this causeway. It was built to take us across a low level, to take those people across a low level or a pond. And it's thought that the pond may have been created as a borrow pit initially, but that it may also have been filled with water over time and used to stock fish and turtles and other such aquatic food. Off to my right as I walk is a depression. Left is a very deep depression, but it doesn't look like it's a pond. And if it is, it's a big one. We started where those people are walking on this causeway, and that causeway sweeps down here and then sweeps around there. So it was no slouch of a project. Mound E, and it's not on the map, near as I can see, nearly 13 feet high and about 300 feet by 360 feet at its base. At one time it was extended an estimated 90 feet or so.